Di.
I'm not here to be your friend, so don't get cozy. But I'm not exactly your enemy, I don't it yet. I look at you, and this fire twists up inside me. I hate you. Oh, I hate you so much it claws at my insides. But then there's the titan it get me started on him. He's worse, so much. Hello there, buddy. My name is Petri. What's your name? It's the most wonderful time of the year. And guess what? There's a special present just for you. Presents are full of surprises. You never know what's inside until you take a peek.
Apa?
Go on, don't be shy. Unwrapping
Yes,
gifts is
that
the best
burger.
part of
What
the
happened?
holiday fun.
Mak panas.
Oh, you're opening it? I wonder.
Panas kan? Diam
Hello
dia.
there, buddy. My name is Petri. What's your name?
Bagi panas burger tu, okay? Thank you. Thank you, Mom. Apa ada food? Cover ada. Dia nak lagi panas dulu.
Yalah, makan dulu belum lagi.
Presents are full of surprises. You never know what's inside until you take a peek.
Sudah. Get away, bro. Okay. Right. Okay. Ah, tadi. Yes, you already know. You know last gameplay I played. Excuse me, hi. Oh, this sounds kind of cool. Okay, I'm trying to do this. I just think that's a little. Oh, I think that's chapter 2. Ost. Come on. Hey, hey, come on, just got in. Just get in, Casey, okay? Let's see. Okay. Good.
We wish you good luck. With respect, Playtime Co.
We have something to talk about. The factory. It's not just like that. What's happening down here is bigger than all the elevator is ready. I need you. So we can get revenge on those monsters who tortured. Who tortured us. And I know one thing, that the prototype has to die. For this. For everyone.
Attention.
Kizzy, wait, don't do this.
Please come on. Please. Here's Playtime Hello there, buddy. My name is Kadri. What's your name? It's the most wonderful time of the year. And guess what? There's a special present just for you. Presents are full of surprises. You never know what's inside until you take a peek. Go on, don't be shy. Unwrapping gifts is the best part of the holiday fun. Oh, you're opening it? I wonder what's inside. Hello there, buddy. My name is Kadri. What's your name? Presents are full of surprises. You never know what's inside until you take a peek. I'm not here to be your friend, so don't get cozy. But I'm not exactly your enemy either yet. I look at you, and this fire twists up inside me. I hate you. Oh, I hate you so much it claws at my insides. But then there's the titan to be started on it. He's worth so much.
korang tahu tak macam mana nak
The second you put this tape in, it set off an alarm. So if anyone's home, they know exactly where you are. Pretty nifty, huh? Security is very important to us here. If I were you, I'd start running.
Man, what was that thing? And where is it taking Captain Fiddles? Hello there, buddy. My name is Petri. What's your name? Seriously?
Oh my god, Evo, the
It's the most
cheese
wonderful time
melts.
of the year.
Evo,
Guess
look at
what?
this.
There's a special
Look.
present just for you.
Look on Evo. The cheese just melts.
Presents are full of surprises.
All of
You
the
never know what's
cheese
inside
melts
until you
to
take a
place.
peek. Go on, don't be shy. Unwrapping gifts is the best part of the holiday fun.
Oh god.
Oh, you're opening it? I wonder what's inside. Thank you, Dr. Fluffy. Hello there, buddy. My name is Petri. What's your name?
Dr. Fluffy Pants, you're wanted in surgery.
It was a very sorry surgery. So most of his time was spent operating on adults. Problem was he also had a bad habit of getting overly creative with his work.
Yeah.
You
So.
give me my son. That's exactly what I did. You did it? You turned me into some kind of cat-eyed freak.
Oh, calm down. You asked me for your money back. I'm not going to give you. Plus, I'm going to show you.
But I don't want night vision. I just want
Every time someone asked him to perform a simple surgery, he'd always find a way to make it more complicated.
presents are full of surprises. You never know what's inside until you take a peek.
A long trunk like an elephant. And when an elderly gentleman came in to try to regrow her hair, Fluffy Pants said to offering a maid of a mind. He continued to give his patients strange and outlandish fixes to mundane health problems.
Chapter 5 of Poppy Playtime. What will happen in Chapter 5 of Poppy Playtime? Shortly after the release of Chapter 4, we got confirmation that Poppy Playtime is going to have a Chapter 5. But what's actually going to happen in Chapter 5? I mean, we've literally lost every ally we've ever had. We're now alone with Huggy banging on the door to get us, and even Poppy has connections with the prototype. So if you thought that predicting Chapter 4 was hard back when we were only in Chapter 3, this is about to be 10 times as hard. But let's actually start with my old Chapter 4 predictions. That way we can see where I went wrong, and hopefully it'll give a better idea as to the direction Mob is taking the game. And let's start with my first prediction, which honestly wasn't even a prediction, I just told the future. The prediction was that Ollie is the prototype. And let me tell you this, I did not get a single thing wrong. With Ollie being a child who never referred to himself as one of the orphans, I was a little bit suspicious as to who he could be. But when we also realized that he could send us keys and batteries throughout the factory, I got a little bit more suspicious. And when this dude asked us if we were hurt, saying no ouchies or lost body parts, I knew this dude was an imposter.
Hey, are you alright? No ouchies or lost body parts?
However, I did make a lot of wrong predictions as well. For example, I said that Chapter 4 could take place in an amusement park kept underneath the factory, since one of the posters does talk about Playtime having one. I also said that we might see what happened to Kissy Missy in the end of Chapter 3. And honestly, this prediction should have been right, bro, because why do we not know what happened? But what's interesting about the end of Chapter 3 is that Kissy is the one lowering us down, but when she starts to get attacked, the elevator starts to come back up, most likely meaning that she needs our help. And we even see that we're almost to the top with the hatch shutting on us. But then in Chapter 4, we're brought into a conversation with Poppy, almost as if we didn't even try to go back up in the first place. However, this does tell me something very important. If there is a cliffhanger in the end of the chapter, it's possible that Mob will just totally divert our attention and keep it a mystery, because in Chapter 4, we never really got an answer as to what happened to her. But I did have a few more right predictions as well, such as the location of Chapter 4, possibly being the labs, and that we'll also see more of the prototype. So, using this information of what I got right and wrong, let's use it to figure out where Mob might take the story in Chapter 5. There were 3 main events in the ending of Chapter 4. The first being Doey's crash out and eventual death. The second being the phone call with the prototype and Poppy running away. And the third is the very end of the game, where Huggy is trying to attack us. And so, keeping in mind that the story could take an absolute 180 turn at any moment, let's figure out what's going to happen in Chapter 5. The first question is, what's going to happen with us and Huggy? It seems to be that Huggy is extremely angry at us, running way faster than he did in Chapter 1, most likely trying to get revenge because of what we did to him. Because in the ending of Chapter 1, this dude got folded like a paper airplane, hit the back of his head on the metal, even got some teeth knocked out by hitting his mouth right on the beam. And now that he's found us, he might give us that good old dog day treatment. Who knows? Or another theory is that Huggy is actually trying to help us. And although this is extremely far-fetched,
my
the
God.
reason I say
Come
this
on.
is because Mob seems to like to surprise us with
Melina,
the
come on.
cliffhangers. As in
You're
Chapter
gonna get.
1, we
You gotta
learned
be
that Poppy
meditated.
leaves
Hit it.
doll, but in
Hit it.
Chapter 2,
Hit
she's
it.
helping us leave the factory. And if it weren't for
Maybe you
Mommy
should.
Longlegs, we would have
You're
been out
good.
of there. And
What?
so in Chapter
What?
4, when Huggy sees us, although he looks extremely angry, this could just be Mob setting up an expectation for us to be
Thank you.
afraid of him. Meanwhile, the reason that he's running at us is due to the red smoke filling the room, almost as if he's trying to warn us. And because the alarm went off after putting the VHS tape in, I don't think that the door going into the labs will be able to open, meaning we're locked in that room with the red smoke, which could end up killing us. And the reason I say that it could kill us rather than putting us to sleep or making us hallucinate like it usually does is because when Sawyer releases the red smoke on us, we start slowly hallucinating, but differently. And if we stay in the smoke for too long, we end up dying and having to restart. However, because the red smoke only shows up on our screen after
New Darty Twin-One mouthwash technology. Squeeze.
Huggy runs to the door, this theory seems to fall short. And when you pair that with the fact that Huggy was extra security for the factory, he was most likely just doing his job and trying to kill us.
This facility is full of hidden motion triggers, which, once set off, will turn on the factory's emergency alarms and directly contact the authorities. And that's one of the more tame aspects of our security system. No spoilers. So, you've got my warning. It's not too late to turn around. I just hope that you're certain whatever you're doing is worth it.
But I guess we'll have to see exactly what happens, because I am so lost as to what in the world Mob could think of to get us out of this situation. But there is one way. In the end of Chapter 4, when the prototype explodes the bombs underneath us and Kissy, she runs over to try and help us, holding onto the ledge with one arm and us with the other. However, this caused her arm to literally tear off, separating us from Kissy entirely. But since she now only has one arm and she's literally hanging off a ledge, I seriously doubt that she's going to be able to do a one-arm pull-up and make it back up. Because in Chapter 2, when we first see her, she can barely flip a lever. So unless Mob thinks that we can believe she can do a one-arm pull-up, she'll most likely come down the same hole that we fell down. Which would mean that if Huggy is really trying to kill us, Kissy might try to fight him. And honestly, I'm not sure who would win that fight. Because although Huggy is missing his arm, Kissy literally just lost hers as well. Or it's possible that Kissy could calm Huggy down. As in a music video posted by Mob on their YouTube channel, we see that Kissy and Huggy were close in the past, or at least that's how they make it look. And if this is true, then when Huggy sees Kissy, it's possible that she'll be able to help us not become his midnight snack. Or we could end up seeing a repeat of Chapter 3, where we just never figure out what happened to her. But the next question is, will we actually see what the prototype looks like? Well, just based on how previous chapters have been going, it seems like we will. Because in Chapter 1, we barely saw his hand in a VHS tape. In Chapter 2, we saw his hand drag away Mommy Longlegs. others. In Chapter 3, we see him kill Catnap. And finally, in Chapter 4, we see a silhouette of what seems to be the lower half of his body. And then, in one of the Chapter 3 tapes where Leith Pierre is checking in on Catnap, Catnap says that the prototype will save him and the others. But Leith responds by telling Catnap that his home is in the prison, and the prototype's home is in the labs.
Theo, nobody's gonna save you. This prison is where you belong. We'll let you out here and there to go see the kids in play care, but your home is here. And as for the prototype, his home is in the labs. This is your life now. Get used to it.
Then Poppy even tells us that the prototype lives in the labs when she's explaining the plan to blow up the entire factory.
The orphans weren't killed during the hour of joy. They were taken. They're below, in the labs. The prototype's home.
And even in the tape named Time, Sawyer and the prototype are talking about something that they're working on in the labs. And when Sawyer talks about having lab access in order to make it easier on both of them, the prototype immediately shuts him down and says that it's out of the question.
We just need more time to prevent that fight. Time is precisely what we don't have. Then I suggest you find some more. That will give you labs access. At least with the two of us.
That is out of the question.
You must report.
Which could mean one of two things. Either the prototype doesn't trust Sawyer around the orphans, or he just doesn't trust Sawyer around his home. Because although we don't know too much about the prototype, it is possible that the labs is his only safe place to shut down. We do know that the prototype isn't entirely mechanical, and so just like every other living creature, he needs some time to sleep. And since pretty much everyone would want to kill him and no longer follow his reign, the only safe place would be down in the labs where no one could reach him. However, now that we managed to get the Omni chip from Sawyer, it seems that we're the only ones who can actually make it down to the labs. And if this is where the prototype lives, then we're most likely going to see his entire body at some point in the chapter. Or the story could take even more of a twist, because when our hand freezes in what seems to be some sort of room where they kept the bodies, Sawyer starts talking to us about how Poppy has been lying to us, and she actually knew that the hour of joy was coming.
Poppy told you her story, of course. Innocence is bliss. And she is so innocent. Did she tell you her part of the hour of joy? That she knew it was coming? Or did she leave out that crucial detail? Yes, that would surprise me. Has she not strung you along, betrayed you, and told you only what you needed to know to do exactly as he asked?
It seems like he's trying to give us doubts and maybe even turn us over to their side. And if this is true, then what if the prototype tries to do the same thing? Because we're most likely going to be passed out with the red smoke, flooding the room in the end of Chapter 4. And the labs is the prototype's home. I'm assuming that we're going to be taken by the prototype, and he might even try to convince us to turn over to his side. And we know that he's capable of doing this, because in the tape named Untitled, he managed to convince Poppy that they shouldn't leave the factory, because they'll just be experimented on again.
Prototype says we can't leave. Not now, not ever. I hate him.
What?
I hate him, and I hate this place, and I hate that he... Right. He explained everything, and he's right. We can't leave. It's too risky. What they did to us, we can't ever let it happen to us or anyone ever again.
But another question I have about Chapter 5.
Right, another monster. Oh, they're exciting. Sorry, bad joke. I didn't mean to ruffle your feathers.
But another question I have about Chapter 5 is, what is Poppy's role going to be? Poppy has had a somewhat side character role for most of the chapters, but still is important to the story. In Chapter 1, the entire point of us going to the factory was to find the flower. And in Chapter 2, we were trying to get the train code from her. And so in Chapter 5, although she just ran away, leaving us behind, she most likely will have some sort of role to play in the story. And because of the way that she was acting in Chapter 4, I'm just going to say it. This little piece of paper looking white dog's been lying to us this entire time. Because in Chapter 1, we find her locked inside of a case, which she then explained in Chapter 2, where she says that she was stuck in there for a very long time.
I'm sorry. I can't let you leave. I've never met anyone like you. Do you know how long I've been stuck in that case? Well, too long. I had so much time to think and reflect. Time to figure out exactly what I would do when free. We'll set things right.
And just off of the way she says it, it sounds like she was in there for an extremely long time, possibly even years. But the thing is, we know that the toys need food in order to survive. So how is it that she survived all this time? Well, one possibility is that Poppy and the other toys are able to go a lot longer without food than humans are. Or the most likely possibility is that she's straight up lying to us. And because she told us to meet back at Safe Haven, yet she managed to survive the explosion and we find her inside of a ventilation block with Kissy, I'm led to believe that she's been lying to us this entire time. But the cherry on top is the fact that she pretty much kidnapped us in chapter 2 in order for us to help her with her plan and didn't tell us until the very last second. Because right after we free her and get the final pieces of the train code, Poppy is looking at us really weird, almost as if she has something she wants to say but doesn't say it.
We've got a special guest. He's a comedian.
I'll be here all week. Especially if Queen Valzelia won't let me leave.
Which makes me think that she was looking at us as if she knew she was going to keep us here by switching the tracks on us. But yet she still let us get inside of that train thinking we were about to obtain some freedom, and we didn't get any of it. And because the prototype seems to want to convince Poppy of something, and she's been convinced by him in the past, it's possible that in chapter 5 we could see Poppy join the prototype side. And as the saying goes, if you can't beat him, join him. And if Poppy is just looking out for herself, I wouldn't be surprised if she joined the prototype side. Because now that Dowie and all of the other Safe Haven toys are dead, it's either she joins the prototype or she dies. Because the prototype killed Catnap, even though he literally worshipped him and served him until the very end of his life. So if the prototype won't spare Catnap, then how much less would he spare Poppy if she doesn't join him? And while it is technically possible that the prototype will keep her alive just based on the way that we hear him talking in the chapter 4 phone call, it still seems likely that Poppy's going to be motivated to join his side now that she's completely alone. And so here are the chapter 5 predictions. Kissy and Huggy might fight each other. We might see the prototype's full body. The prototype might convince us to join his side, and Poppy might join the prototype side. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and click on this video right here.